What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of Smack Talking Raw. I'm your boy Pinky. Ronstradamus is in the house.
Ronstradamus, what's up, Pinky? Let's get it, baby.
Woo! It's finally here, my friend. Wrestlemania week. Um, man, I've been waiting all week. We're almost there. I'm so excited to come hang out at your place for 2 days.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
We've got a lot to chop up tonight. Was there anything from Raw that you thought would be interesting to cover real quick before we get into the WrestleMania matches and predictions?
You know, I actually thought Raw was a lackluster setup show going into WrestleMania. I was not really. I think this might be Triple H's way of just saying, just trust me. I'm going to have a great show at WrestleMania. I'm not going to water it down with anything because it was really boring, to be quite honest with you.
You know, sometimes he doesn't mind putting on a C or B card on Raw and SmackDown, right?
Right.
So he kind of lets the. Unfortunately, he's not always doing an A on Raw and SmackDown, which, you know, sometimes I get, right? Every once in a while they can't all be home runs, but you know, yeah, that was the promos weren't amazing. The last one of the night was, you know, CM Punk and Seth and Roman. That was good, actually. I like enjoyed that, but that was like literally the last like 10 minutes of the show. So
Yeah, the remaining parts of it were predictable and it was a layup, definitely for sure, going into, the whole WrestleMania buildup this year. Last year, going into WrestleMania 40, they had the announcement in Las Vegas, which, by the way, we're back in Las Vegas. The Rock and Cody and Seth Rollins and Roman all in the battle, and then Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley at each other's throat. There was none of that this year.
And I really think it's a misstep to not have anything from The Rock this entire time.
Right.
We have this altering moment, and there's no Travis Scott and there's no Rock since Elimination Chamber, since March 1st. That makes no sense to me. None. Like the lead up last year, Rock was all on it, man. And if he wasn't in the building, he was cutting promos and videos on Instagram, and he was still putting stuff out there that you could there was one he was in like a rodeo arena and was cutting a promo.
That's right.
From a rodeo arena. Like he can't you couldn't have him do that this time? Something? You know,
well, his workouts where he was having his workouts and he was talking trash to Cody Rhodes and Mama Rhodes and everything last year was just brilliant.
I mean, he was outside he was by his trailer filming and doing a promo. Right, that they would show. Like they could have done something. This has been, you know, maybe it has a purpose, but I really felt like we needed something from The Rock after this moment, right? And we just haven't gotten it yet. So we'll see how it plays out.
You smell what The Rock is wherever he's at cooking.
He's off doing something, Moana, whatever. Well, let's chop it up, my friend. We've got lots of matches to get through, and I can't wait to hear your predictions since you are Ronstradamus, and you definitely have a good feel for how things play out. We're going to start night one with our guy, Gunther versus Jey Uso.
I love Gunther. I love him. But I think that it's been set up for the Yeet Master to come with it.
I mean, this one's I feel like this is one of the ones that it's like an absolutely no-brainer. Because I don't feel like if you brought Jey up to this level, right? You had him win the Royal Rumble, you brought him up to this level, to the main event level. To have him lose to Gunther, where does he go? Back to the mid card? Like, it would lose all of its momentum from what they've built up over the last 6 months or so, and every week he gets that moment with the crowd. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes of him just yeeting. Pat McAfee going crazy on the desk, right? So yeah, Jay's got to go over on this one, and I'm hoping it's a really good match. Because I think if you don't like Gunther's character, that's fine. That dude can wrestle.
He
That
can
dude
wrestle.
is fantastic in the ring.
Well, one of the things I'll say about this is that Gunther as a character, having him lose twice in a row to underdogs at WrestleMania isn't a good look either. So there is that air of like, well, could Gunther come and win? Maybe beat him up so bad that they say we're going to put the World Heavyweight Championship on the line on night 2 against the winner of CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Because somehow, some way, that match between those three has to mean something for night 2. It has to. But we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah, I just don't think they can. Gunther's had the title more in his WWE run than he has without it. So it's probably time to let him, let him come back up the mountain. He's been up there for a while. So
Well,
reminds me.
just like Roman built the prestige of the Universal title to back to the WWE title, Gunther is doing that for the World Heavyweight Championship, which didn't have an identity. I mean, Seth did a great job of defending it when he was champion. When Damian Priest was champion, he did a great job of it. It came back to Seth and then Drew McIntyre, and then all of a sudden Gunther wins it. And Gunther has brought prestige to that title. Would you agree or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And because again, he dominates. He just dominates, and he's to me, he's at least I would say it's arguable that he's one of the top 3 heels in the company, if not number 1. Right. So yeah, he does an amazing job. So this should be a great banger of a match to start off. I think we agree though. Jay's gonna go over.
Yeah, Jay, this is Jay's time to shine for sure.
All right. So this one, not as excited about this one, but I do know we will see some good wrestling. We've got El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, versus Rey Mysterio.
Well, I mean, you can't quite say it's Chad Gable. They haven't taken the mask off him yet. He looks very similar, but there's been times where you've seen him around, and there's been El Grande Americano was running around, and Chad Gable's right there. So I don't totally buy into it yet. I have some suspicions, but I'm not completely bought in on it yet.
If they show it somebody else, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I do know the matches that he has had have been very entertaining. I've always found, luchador wrestling, that style, fast-paced, athletic, quick moves. You don't have as many of the power moves, but you've got everything else. And that can be very enjoyable because it's different than what we watch on a regular basis. So I don't know if I'm excited, but I know we'll see a good match. Who's going over here?
I mean, you're creating a new character, and Ray doesn't have anything to prove in this match. So for me, Ronstradamus picks El Grande Americano.
I feel like that just makes sense. And I think this rivalry will get to a point, maybe SummerSlam, maybe another PLE, where we have the mask match, right? And that's when you're not taking Ray's mask off again. We've already done that. So now it's time to unmask El Grande Americano.
And find out who he truly is, for sure.
Right.
I love it. I love it. Now, the only thing that I'm going to give as a caveat, if Triple H was a good booker, a really true good booker, the person that Dominic Mysterio could be talking about coming in to run the Judgment Day would be Chad Gable. Now we could talk about Chad Gable. Have Chad Gable come along with the Judgment Day, and they start fighting with the LWO, and have El Grande Americano playing an important role in that whole thing. And that would make for exciting, innovative TV.
I mean, I don't know about you, Ron, but I'm kind of done with Judgment Day. I think it's time for them to put them to pasture and find a new group, which to me, I'm hoping, again, we'll have Cena, The Rock, we'll have some other newcomers into a new, Evolution, Four Horsemen, a new faction, the Nation of Domination, all of that, a new faction that we can now enjoy watching. I feel like Judgment Day has run its course, in my opinion.
I do too. But however, if they're going to keep them around, they need a new leader because the Chad Gable time as far as like running American Made and all that sort of stuff, those guys haven't stepped up. Julius Creed is an incredible wrestler. Brutus Creed is an incredible wrestler. Ivy Nile, she's an incredible wrestler, but they do nothing on TV, and therefore they're not doing anything for me.
And I think it's I don't know. I think they when they're in the ring, they do great stuff. But as you know, you got to be great on the mic. You got to have a good character. You got to have that charisma that the crowd like really cares. And I feel like the crowd could care less about those guys right now, and they need to find a way to really elevate them as characters to make the crowd care. And they
right.
haven't at this point. They're kind of stuck in that mid card. We see them here and there. Otis, same thing. Like we see Otis. It's fun to see Otis. He's a fun guy, but then like there's no substance there at all. And the really small Japanese guy, he does some cool stuff too. But again, he's kind of the punching bag, as I see it, right? All right, let's see. This kind of leads into that since we were, we got some tag teams we're talking about. The next match is the tag team championship with the War Raiders and the New Day.
What are you thinking on this one?
It's New Day all day. It's New Day all day because they've gotten to the point that they have the crowd hates them. They've got that heat that they come out there and the crowd immediately boos. They hate them. I can't. I just without the title and without them continually having to be the bad guy, what's the point?
Right.
I like the Raiders. They're fine.
I love the Roar Raiders, but they don't really do anything. They're just big guys, kind of like imitation Road Warriors and Demolition of this era. They're not really that.
They do some things that you don't see from guys that size that makes you go, whoa, okay. But other than that, I don't. Again, we've seen this stick before to where I'm not, like you said, with the the Warriors and all that. We've seen this before that it doesn't quite get me excited. It doesn't quite. Oh yeah, I can't wait to watch these guys every week. That's not where we're at. I feel like the tag team, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of the tag team division.
Not on Raw, but on SmackDown, the wrestling for the tag team division is really good with the Street Profits on the Machine Guns right now. DIY is actually a good team, but they're just not being showcased well. Pretty Deadly. Eventually, they're going to be top tier teams, but we'll get to that in just a second. So I'm coming with my Ronstradamus moment. This is the Ronstradamus moment. So everybody that's watching this, I called it here first. And if I miss on this, I'm not a true wrestling fan. So coming back from injury and helping the New Day to get nuclear heat is Big E. And he helps the New Day to win the tag team championships. But it looks like when he comes down, he's going to help the War Raiders. And something's going to happen to where he turns on them. And that it's going to be the New Day, all three of them reunited. Because since that story was written back in January, where they kicked him out of the thing, he hasn't been seen from since. So they have to tie that up with a nice little bow. And the only way to tie that with a nice little bow is to give him some run with the New Day as bad guys. So that's what I'm predicting here right now.
I mean, he's been at some of the PLEs, but you haven't seen him anywhere else except for the PLE. He's been doing the pre-show for the PLE, but that's about it. So
that's my Ronstradamus moment right there for you guys.
Big E coming out. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's get on to something a little more interesting. Jade Cargill and Naomi.
So in the story that's missing is Bianca Belair. So to keep this story interesting and going on into SummerSlam and beyond, I believe Naomi needs to win this match because they got to give her character similar to the New Day. they have to give her some run as a bad guy, but you can't just have a bad guy always take the loss. She's got to win this match.
I feel like that's what's got to happen as well, Ron. I think you're dead on. I just and maybe it's because I don't really like Jade. I just don't. She's kind of slow. She is big and powerful, but to me, she's like just a bigger version of Bianca Belair. But Bianca Belair is fast and quick and athletic, and Jade's not, and that's why I think I don't find Jade appealing at this point. I just every time I watch her, I don't find her appealing as a wrestler. She's good looking and she's awesome, like strength wise. Just I don't find her wrestling
She
appealing.
does nothing. She does nothing from me from a wrestling perspective at all.
Perfect. That's how I feel. So yeah, I think Jade has to continue chasing in this case, and the way to do that is to have Naomi. But I also think Naomi needs to win and cheat to win.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Something dirty, something to show that she's completely turned to the dark side. I've always enjoyed Naomi. Naomi is a fantastic wrestler. She probably
Fantastic.
has not gotten enough credit or run so far, which is tough. Like we've chatted before on our other podcast that the women's division is stacked, and there's not there's some girls I'm like, okay, they're on the mid card, yeah, that's fine, but then there's a lot of top level players because they are just fantastic. Their characters are great. The stories are great. Their wrestling's fantastic. Some of their matches are better than the guys. It just for me, it's just Naomi hasn't gotten that level of hype that she should be getting.
Never. She was the most athletic. She was able to just do so many moves that were like very comparable to the men in a lot of cases. But she's never really like gotten a like she didn't get Vince's ear, and she's not getting in Triple H's ear.
I feel and maybe I'm wrong here, but to me she seems like the Chad Gable, or not Chad Gable.
Shelton Benjamin.
No. The Olympic Kurt Angle. Fantastic, great character, can be funny, can be mean. She lines up, but for a while, Kurt wasn't quite being used the way he could have been. And that's kind of feel like where Naomi's at right at the moment.
And unfortunately, she's at the twilight of her career too. So it's not like they're going to with all these up and comers. NXT is stacked. Both sides of SmackDown and Raw are stacked. So all it's going to do is Becky Lynch is talking about she's not coming back.
Yeah, I mean, well, Becky in her last interview, she said she wasn't coming back yet. But she also didn't say she was retired either. So
right,
there's that. That I think that's coming down the line. I think she's coming back this year. I think, but I know she had some projects, some film work that she was doing. I think she's finishing that up before she comes back. So, this match I am super excited for, Ron, and I know you know where I'm going here. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu.
I used to love you, Solo.
I'm gonna beat your ass coast to coast, post to post. Love it. When Jacob Fatu cuts a promo, dude, I'm all in. I'm like, man, I could have a beer with that guy.
For sure. And don't try to beat my ass, because I really feel like you could. You know what I'm saying? That dude is amazing.
I love his character, everything about him.
So in his match, LA Knight, he just recently got the United States title back. And so my money, it would be on LA Knight for this match. And the reason why is because he's got the Stone Cold thing. He's got the Rock thing down 2-1. And he just got the title back. They actually even gave him the belt that has the LA Knight on it and everything like that. So I think Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu are going to have some kind of falling out during this match, to where they're going to feud going on into the future, so they can finally end that portion of the bloodline and get on to something else.
I hate to agree with you on this, my man, because I want Jacob Fatu. I want him with a belt. Right. I want him with all the heat. I want everybody chasing him. I think he is a superstar in the making. He's also a character that can be a heel and unhinged, and we don't have a lot of those. I think Kevin Owens has probably been the best lately of being a bad guy that's a little unhinged. Um, and I think with the title, he could really take that to the next level. But I have to agree with you. LA Knight's probably going over here.
Yeah, because like the one way to build up Jacob Fatu to make him be the chaser is to have him eliminate Solo Sokoa, who was the heavy inside of the bloodline, and then get rid of all the old bloodline, and then he stands on his own. So that could go all the way until the Royal Rumble. He wins the Royal Rumble next year, and then he goes on to face either the SmackDown or the Raw champion at that time next year at WrestleMania 42. I think that could be his character arc because he's brilliant. When I see him come, when his music hits, I just get jacked because you're going to see something amazing.
Every time, man. His matches with Braun Strowman, they don't last very long, but they are very entertaining, and you don't know what you're going to see from those two big dudes. And
Right.
I'd love to see Bronson Reed come back and get in that mess too.
Oh my gosh, Bronson Reed! I forgot all about that dude. Yes.
Yeah, when he broke his foot from jumping off the cage, man.
Yeah.
So,
oh man,
that I think that was at War Games. I think.
Yeah, that was in War Games for sure.
So yeah, LA Knight's going over. I'm not the hugest LA Knight fan. I can see what people like about him. He's fantastic in the ring though. He's fantastic in the ring. For me, his character just kind of seems like a guy we've already seen before. So
right. I don't really enjoy him, but he does have his place inside of the wrestling ring, and I think that in this particular situation, he's going to benefit from some outside interference from Solo Sokoa. That's going to interrupt that match and end up costing Jacob Fatu the title. Period. On that one.
I like it. All right. This match, I would say it had. I'm going to go on a limb. This match had zero heat. Zero heat. And in the last 2 weeks, it's got all the heat. We've got Tiffany Stratton, the champ, versus Charlotte Flair, the queen.
So you got the new generation versus the old school generation. And so with everything that's been going on recently, it's a coin toss as far as who will win because there's a lot of emotional stuff going on with regards to the perception of Charlotte Flair and how she comes back and she always gets a title. Tiffany Stratton, she's kind of a boring champion. She needs to chase the title for a while so people can get behind her. So in that case, I'm choosing Charlotte Flair to win her 15th title.
So totally agree with you, Ron. Cheers. I'm only doing water tonight, but cheers. Hydrating for the weekend.
All right.
So Charlotte Flair, she's going to win number 15. And I think it truly has to do with Tiffany Stratton. They've shifted her now. They're trying to make her a baby face. She was originally a heel. Now they've made her a baby face. And a baby face needs to chase the title, like you said, right? She got it. Now, her story getting it was fun, right? She won Money in the Bank. She was hanging out with Nia Jax. Will she, won't she? When's she going to cash in? Like, that whole story went really long. Like, she held that briefcase for a long time before she finally cashed in, right?
Time. Yes.
And the cash in moment was great, right? That whole thing was great when it finally happened. But now the heat's kind of gone from Tiffany right now. I mean, and again, I think Charlotte winning the title and then having Tiffany chase her for a while will absolutely help her character, help her as a babyface. It looked like Charlotte was trying to come back as a babyface. That shit lasted 5 seconds.
Yes.
The crowd was like, I'm going to boo the hell out of you. And we don't like you, Charlotte. And that, like, she was like, okay, fine. I guess I'm still a heel, right? Let me do what I'm good at. So I think that's why Charlotte's got to come out on top. And in the women's division, Right now, I don't think we really have any great heels. I mean, I thought she was doing a pretty good job as a heel. Naomi now is there. Who else is a heel right now? I mean, Rhea kind of goes back and forth from time to time, but now they've kind of made her that, she's like the Stone Cold of the women's division right now. Like, if she comes out, everybody loves her, cheers for her. Doesn't matter if she beats the crap out of somebody or she's kind of crying and losing herself, right? They love her regardless.
Mommy.
Queen Flair being a heel, being the best. That's what we need right now. So I agree with you, Ron.
My man, good job. Now, night one main event, right?
Night one main event. We've got Roman Reigns, your man CM Punk, and one of my favorite guys, Seth freaking Rollins. Pretty funny, actually. The other day, I was playing the WWE 2K25, and Harmony comes in. My wife is just playing on her phone, and my daughter goes, "Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins." And Hannah's like, "What did she just say?"
What did you say?
I was like, "No, she said freaking." And she's like, "That's not his name." I was like, "Yeah, actually, that's his nickname, Seth freaking Rollins." So it was pretty funny. And we have the Paul Heyman.
Hyman's a whole different context, friend.
I don't even know how I went there.
Anyway.
and we're live. I can't even go back. All right.
Yes, can't go back and edit that one.
So with Heyman, we'll be leading CM Punk down and being in his corner at WrestleMania. And I love it. I know the favor kind of felt we should have all seen this coming, right? This is what the favor was going to be. But I think they've played it up fairly well, right? And I think it's pretty much at this point, I don't know if there's no going back. Heyman and Roman are done. There's no going back on that.
And so getting into this, I actually was really digging inside of my wrestling roots, right? So I go back 14 years ago when CM Punk introduced this group called The Shield to pro wrestling. And one of two things is going to happen on Saturday night. Number one thing is that at some point in time, there's going to be a Shield reunion to where Seth and Roman are going to realize that they need each other and they're going to unite together. That's number one. Or number two, Paul Heyman is going to diss both CM Punk and Roman Reigns for Seth freaking Rollins. And then that's going to lead into a night two, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But my opinion is that Seth Rollins walks away with the victory on Saturday night.
Absolutely true. And I think at this point, Seth freaking Rollins has played the good company guy for quite a while now over this last year. He's taken some losses to guys that, he could have won. He's put a lot of folks over. It's time for him to get back into that main event title reign, title contention picture. And it's time for him to be a badass heel. Like, he had his kind of moment where he's kind of in between. Now he's in that, like, hey, it's time to be the bad guy. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. I know you and I both agree on what's going to happen. So Seth freaking Rollins is going to win. I do think this will be 30-minute match, 40-minute match, pretty long.
In that stratosphere for sure, 35-40-minute match for sure.
Yeah, I got a feeling this should be the best match of the night. It really should. You've got three top-notch guys in there. So,
let's talk about that for a second. So there's all these matches on night one, right? You're thinking that this should be the match of the night?
I do. I know there's always, the folks like Gunther and Jay are going to want to come out and put on a banger, right? You've got that pride that you want to have the match of the night. You want to have that fantastic match. But as we both know, there's timing to it, right? And some of these guys aren't going to get enough time to tell that full story in the ring and make it amazing, satisfying, and see a lot of cool stuff. They're just not going to have the time for that. This is the one where I think they're going to build in that time, and that's why this will be the match of the night. I think it's going to go back and forth between all three guys for 30 minutes or more.
So I'm going to disagree with you on that, and I'm going to say the match of the night is going to be Tiffany versus Charlotte. And the reason why I think so is because those girls really do not like each other in real life. And if you remember to Charlotte versus Rhea a couple years ago when they fought one-on-one, Charlotte put on, that was the best match of the whole WrestleMania, was that match, Charlotte versus Rhea. If you go back and watch that match, that was the best match of WrestleMania 39. I think Charlotte's got a lot to prove coming back. Looking at where it's positioned in the card, you're going to have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, which is going to be a great match, but it's going to result in LA Knight being a retaining champion. You're going to have Charlotte Flair doing everything she can to win that title, and they're in between the main event of CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Those girls are going to put on a performance that we've never seen before from the women division.
I'm hoping that they are able to work together and make that happen, because their chemistry and Charlotte has an opportunity to really make Tiffany look bad if she really wants to, because Tiffany's not quite on her level yet when it comes to in the ring, but they're going to have to work together to make that happen, Ron. And that's where if they really don't like each other in real life, right? Charlotte feels threatened by the new pretty thing. I could see that not turning out as well as we would want it to be.
Ronstradamus said so. Watch it.
Watch
it here first, friend.
That's without a doubt. So as we talk about night 2, you got to turn off your phone, Ron.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, I can't hear it because I'm on the thing. Sorry about it.
I'm
just letting people know that I'm important.
Right. It's not. We don't know where it's on the card yet. They haven't exactly decided who is facing Randy Orton, but the match is still to be determined. And I guess it's supposed to be an open invitation for whatever that means. What are your thoughts there, Ronstradamus?
I think that we're going to have a Cody Rhodes type moment from WrestleMania 38, where I think that we're either going to see Rusev or Aleister Black, both of which are been signed by the WWE. And one or both of those guys are going to come back, and they're going to challenge Randy Orton to a match.
Okay. Randy Orton still got to win, though, right? He's got to win.
Yeah, he's got to win for sure.
Okay. I feel like he's got to win. How many more WrestleManias does he have left in him? I think it's time. Make sure he wins. I think he's lost in a lot of the PLEs in the last 2 years. So he deserves a win. All right. So night 1, and this I always love his matches. So I think this one's going to be a banger. We got AJ Styles and Logan Paul, baby.
Ooh. That is a banger. I wish this match would have happened a little bit in AJ's prime, because they would have put on a spectacular match. I still think it's going to be an incredible match, and it may steal WrestleMania. It may be the match of all of WrestleMania. You got AJ Styles in one of his final WrestleManias versus Logan Paul, who's destined to be a world champion in the future. And I think that they're going to start off night 2 of WrestleMania and just be absolutely all in that match. That's going to be a great one to start off night 2.
I mean, I'm a huge Logan Paul fan. He's one of my top guys right now. They're, the 3 guys I love watching right now: Logan Paul, Penta, and Jacob Fatu. Like, those 3 dudes get in the ring or they come out and cut a promo, I'm all in. So, I agree with you. Logan Paul, who's winning that match? I think you said, who did you say?
Yeah, Logan Paul's that's got to be a Logan Paul win.
You think?
Yeah.
I think, he should win that one. I still have a thing that they might let AJ Styles win that one, though. because he just recently came back. If they want to build up any heat with him, Logan Paul's already got all the heat. Like he's got all the heat. He comes out and he's got heat. He's on fire.
He's on
So
fire. Yes.
the crowd loves him. Well, crowd hates him, and but all he does is put on 5-star matches. So hopefully we'll get another one. I think I love this. I love one of the wrestlers in this next match. I really, really feel like they just kind of threw this together and really didn't know what to do. Right. We've got the women's tag team championship, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I mean, Bayley and Lyra weren't even a tag team.
Right.
They just kind of came together now, and now they're in the match. This is one of the ones that I just hate the build-up, because it was like somehow they were like, okay, Liv, we took the title from you. Now, because Rhea got the title from you, then they brought her like, well, let's still put a title on her. Let's put the tag team title on her. It makes sense with Raquel. But then after that, like, there was a little, did they even have a rivalry with anybody really?
They were getting ready to have a rivalry with Naomi and
right.
and Bianca, or Naomi and Jade, and now that turned out. But the bottom line is Lyra Valkyria, she's a pretty good wrestler. She's a little bit dramatic for me, like in the ring. Like she's a good wrestler, but she's like this, and like she's not as good as what WWE is trying to make her to be. She's kind of like, and a lot of people that are watching this, you may disagree with me, but it's like Sheamus. Sheamus is a good wrestler, but WWE made him a superstar. Lyra Valkyria, she's a good wrestler, but WWF is trying to push her down our throat to say that she's this great, great wrestler, and she's just not.
Yeah, I don't dislike her, and I don't dislike her matches, but I would put that title on somebody else so quick. It's not even funny.
Right.
Like I like Roxanne Perez. Let's go. Here's your title, girl. Let's go.
Right.
I would find that more enjoyable. I mean, Liv and Raquel's got to take this. They've got to take this. I mean, I just don't see. I don't see why you would have Bayley and Lyra win in this situation.
I think this should lead up to Lyra and Bayley finally having their big fallout, and like a best of 7 match or whatever for the Intercontinental title to give it a little bit more prestige or something, because Bayley's already lost to her, but then they'll say, okay, you've lost one to you. Now they'll do this best of 7 thing or something like that to make the title a little bit more juicy, leading to a big culmination match at SummerSlam or at Money in the Bank or something.
Yeah. So
Liv and Raquel for sure.
Yeah, and Liv always puts on good matches. Her character's amazing. Her hitting the shake as she's getting beat down on the floor is hilarious. She's just on a whole different level right now, and I'm kind of sad that they removed her for the time being out of the championship, contender space that she had been in, because she did such a great job with that belt, and she has turned herself into one of the best heels in the business as well.
Absolutely,
she's fantastic, and she's really nice to look at. Oh,
and you're not biased by anything you just said at all. I got it.
Not at all. Not at all. No. Here's the match that I feel may be able to steal WrestleMania.
Okay,
and some people disagree. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre,
2 former world champions.
McIntyre, man, he doesn't get enough credit, man. He's
right.
They lifted him up for a while, and now he's kind of eating shit for a while. I think it's time to start going the other direction with him. They've also kind of with Damian Priest, they brought him up, got him into the championship contenders section, and then they kind of brought him back down out, kind of out in the crowd. They need to start pushing him again. I feel like these two dudes are going to be like, let's put on a hell of a match. And I think these are two guys that are really good at what they do. They're really good at making others look good too. So I think this is going to be a really, really good match and could have the chance to steal WrestleMania.
There's not one thing you just said that I disagree with. Like at the end of the day, they're two former world champions that were underdogs in that role. I mean, obviously, Drew McIntyre won his first championship in front of nobody inside of the audience at all. He beats Brock Lesnar in like 5 minutes, and then he defeated the Big Show later on after that in like a few minutes. So then he gets a chance to be on the main stage with Bobby Lashley, and then he loses, right? So last year he wins, and Punk costs him the title. So there's been this boo-hoo scenario. So for me, the person that needs to go over, because he's been carrying the company on his shoulders for longer than just the most immediate 2 years, but you can go back 5 years, and that's got to be Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I love the Scottish Warrior. His music, his whole shtick, I love it. And I like Damian Priest a lot too. I enjoy him in the ring, and I think he's got a great character. I'm glad they got him out of Judgment Day. I felt like that was kind of, a little bit beneath him at some point. So I feel like Drew's got to win, but this is one I have a hard time picking because I'm like, but they've been kind of pushing Damian Priest as well, so I could see it where they push him over in this case. So this one was tough, but I'm gonna go with my man Drew.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. I'm looking at in the background WrestleMania 40 going off from last year, and my goodness, it was cold there. I remember it was 35 degrees at kickoff, and that was just like for those of you that weren't there, when you're watching WrestleMania outdoors and it's cold in a place like Philadelphia, it doesn't make it exciting at all to be there. Anywhere but here, for real. So thank goodness they're keeping it inside. Although being Bronco fans, I can't believe they're having it in Allegiant Stadium, because that just tarnishes WrestleMania right there. So for all you Raider fans,
that's a great stadium, though. It's a great stadium, my friend. The game I saw there was amazing. It was a good time. The stadium's fantastic, though. The team that plays there is not great, but the stadium's fantastic.
Okay, I'll give you that.
This another match. I am actually really excited for this match, although this got kind of thrown together as well. We've got the Intercontinental Championship with Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio.
You have four incredibly talented individuals from four different sectors of the WWE. Finn Balor, first Universal Champion, hasn't been a world champion in 8 years since he won that title and separated his shoulder and out of action at that point. You got Penta, who's just on fire ever since he's been in the WWE. When he was wrestling in other organizations, I didn't really get the sense of him being as great as he is now. Like, they're really packaging him up real nicely and making him and his brother Ray really superstars on the making sure that they're being represented on both brands, so that eventually when they come back together, they can be the Lucha Bros and dominate the tag team scene. You got Dominic Mysterio, who hasn't won a singles title on the main roster. He's won the North American title. He's had a chance to win the tag team championships with his dad. You got Braun Breaker, who is the son of Rick Steiner. He's just an absolute dog in the ring. He does things that aren't really just fathomable inside of the ring at this point in time. But if I'm looking at who needs a win, it has to be Dominic Mysterio. And so that's who I'm picking to win the match.
Here's my theory on this, Ron. And I agree with you 1,000%. But my reasoning is, it's kind of weird, but if you've listened late or if you watched Dom lately, he's kind of becoming a babyface. The crowd is cheering for him now, and
Right.
For the longest time he was just a douchebag. nobody liked him, and now that's starting to change, and he's starting to get those cheers from the crowd, and people are starting to respect that. When he's in the ring, he does really good work. Like his character, hate his character. I've never really been a big fan of his character myself, but when I keep watching, I'm like, damn, he just puts on good matches. Finn Balor's the same. Like, I don't really like Finn Balor or his character, but that dude's matches are pretty damn good. Like,
Yeah, he is.
you're gonna get a good match every time he's in the ring. So I think Dominic Mysterio will win this match. He's gonna pin Finn Balor clean, and that's gonna break up the Judgment Day.
Yes, he's gonna pin Finn Balor clean, 100%, with a move that Penta puts on Finn Balor, and somehow Braun Breaker does a spear on Penta out of the ring, and it leaves Dominic. He looks around like and does one of these things and pins him, and then he takes the title and he runs up the thing, and Finn Balor's like, "What did you do?" That kind of thing. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
I'm excited for that. I think this will be a really fun match. So, another match that could steal WrestleMania. We've got the Women's World Championship with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. And I think we all really wanted to see Bianca and Rhea one-on-one, if we're all being honest. But during this whole lead up, man, I am cheering for Io Sky. Like, I am just cheering for Io Sky, and I'm just like, and I've always had great respect for her. The thing I think, was she the one that jumped off the cage in a trash can?
Yeah, with the trash can. Yeah.
Yeah. When she did that, I was like, damn, that's cool. Ever since that, and then she's just so likable when she does her, thing, and you can tell. Obviously, there's a language barrier, right? But you can tell she really loves what she does. You can. It just comes out of her that she is having so much fun, in doing what she does, and she does it really well. So
you're our Paula Abdul of this segment. I like it. What I really got present to is that I didn't like how they brought Rhea Ripley into this match. She kind of bullied herself into this match. And so Bianca has all the rights in the world that I had to go through the elimination chamber to get into this match, and I did it. Io Sky, she's the champion. I did it. Let's make it happen. Well, Rhea's crying because Bianca, quote unquote, cost her the title. No, she cost herself the title by having ego and pride and all that sort of stuff and crying over spilled milk. To your point, though, Io has been shown nothing but disrespect during this title reign. Nothing. They're pie facing her, and the only time where she got over was the jump off the top rope where she kicked Rhea Ripley into Bianca, and I think hurt her nose or something like that too. I think that's what I heard in the dirt sheets. I think that in this match, for my money, the winner of this match should be Bianca Belair. And the reason why is because it carries the story with Jade and Naomi forward as to who really done it, right? Who was really involved in that thing. And if the title's on the line, then that sets up a Jade and Bianca down the line. Whereas Io has nobody to really fight. She doesn't have no beef with anybody.
Yeah, and I think Bianca's a great wrestler, but I do not like her. I don't like her character. I don't like the twirling braid. I do like it when people choke her with it. I don't like the EST. I hate that. Like, I know it's like it should be cool, but it's not. I just hate her character. I hate everything. The only thing I don't hate is when she's in the ring, she's pretty damn good. But
she's the female John Cena. She's the female John Cena.
I like John Cena, though. I've never liked Bianca, ever. And I hate that because I feel like, oh, why do I hate her? There's just something about it. I just don't like it. So I still think Io Sky pulls this out. I don't know where it goes from there, but I think to give her the belt and then have her, like, there's no reason to put the belt on her, have her do this match where she's kind of interjecting into the match we should have gotten. to then just have her lose and go back out on her way. Like, I feel like this has helped kind of really push her character forward, which she hasn't really been able to do since Asuka got hurt, right? With Damage Control, and they were actually doing a pretty good job of terrorizing the women's tag team and all that. But since she's been out, Io's been kind of left out there like, okay, what do I do? This has given her a really good push, and this could really keep her in that upper echelon going forward. Because with Io, you're always going to get great matches.
I like it. We differ on this one. I like it. Like it's one of those things to where if I'm a betting man, I have that Bianca pins Io, Rhea feels jaded, and either they fight those two at Money in the Bank or at SummerSlam, those two for the title individually. Unfortunately, Triple H is short-sighted because he should have had them at WrestleMania fight against each other one-on-one. But to change the title and have Io give the title to Bianca Belair versus Rhea give the title to Bianca Belair keeps Rhea strong, and it creates this friction between them that can go a little bit longer.
Maybe they're trying to hold off the Bianca Rhea at SummerSlam, maybe, because that is a 2-night event now, so you need big matches for SummerSlam as well. But that's the match we should have at WrestleMania, and that's why I feel like if they brought Io Sky in to be the catalyst for the 3-way, give her the belt, I just have a hard time seeing them take it back off of her. But all 3 of these women, we could make a case to get the belt and run with it and keep going, right?
Yes.
Rhea's at the top, Bianca's at the top. Now Io Sky has shown she can hang with the big dogs, so now we can run with that too. So this should be really a lot of fun. And then we have the one match we've all been waiting for, and that's John Cena challenging Cody Rhodes for the World Wrestling Undisputed Championship.
So, does John Cena get a 17th championship at WrestleMania?
Yes.
That's the question. So, like, we have to go both angles because this is the main event of WrestleMania. So, if CM Punk were to win or Roman Reigns was to win, I think one or the other gets inserted into this match to make it a triple threat match at WrestleMania for the title. Somehow. If Seth Rollins wins, I think that Cody and John fight one-on-one, and Seth Rollins either helps whoever's truly The Rock's corporate guy, whether it be John Cena or Cody Rhodes. Because I'm not completely convinced that Cody hasn't already sold out to The Rock. Which would make sense for why The Rock hasn't been around with John Cena and all these things. So Seth Rollins would help Cody Rhodes and start a master class of Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch, and one other person that would come out with Paul Heyman being the manager, the new 4 horsemen of the WWE. And that turns John Cena good guy so he can finish off the rest of his tenure trying to get back at these guys.
So I feel like it's going the other direction, my friend. John Cena is going to win. He's going to cheat to win, which I think will be epic because that's what we'll all talk about. Hey, remember when Cena won that 17th and he cheated? And I think it's going to be Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman that come and help him win and cheat. I don't see them inserting a third person. I think we've already got too many of those matches on this card, so I don't think that's going to work. I see where you're going with it, but I just don't see that working because we've already got tons of 3-ways. We've got a 4-way. This needs to be one-on-one, but are they going to have some interference like they had last year? Absolutely. Where's The Rock going to show up, right? Where's Travis Scott going to show up? I feel like Travis has got to come back out. Otherwise, why
got to come back out?
Chamber, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of different angles they can play. The only one that makes sense to me is John Cena has to win. Otherwise, turning him heel doesn't make any sense. you've got a short window of time, the rest of the year. And if he loses, now he's continually chasing as a heel. That's never we want the baby face chasing, not the heel. So I feel like Cena is going to win, and then he's going to kick ass for 6 months while Cody is chasing. And then Cody will beat him to take back the title before he rides off into the sunset, is what I see happening. But I do see, I think Cena and Orton is happening at Backlash. They're both going to be at Backlash.
I see it more your way, but just to put a devil's advocate in everybody's head, I don't see Cody Rhodes as totally the good guy in this story. I don't. When I hear him talk his promos and stuff like that, he's a tweener.
Oh, they're making so much money off of him as being the captain, being the babyface. He is the Cena of this era right now. They're not changing that. Not yet. That's not going to happen yet. So I truly believe Cody will be. It's going to be a really good match. Cody's going to lose. There's going to be interference that causes Cody to lose. Cena walks out with the 17th. I'm going to cry. I'm going to hold my belt and cry. I'm going to hug everybody. Maybe have some high fives around the room. It's going to be a great time.
Yes. I'm excited about seeing John Cena win his 17th with cheating as well. I just threw that in there as a caveat. So I think that this WrestleMania right now, the build up to it hasn't been very good, but I think that they have a lot of incredible matches on this card that by itself, if you have night 1 versus night 2 phenomenon of which one is going to be the better card, that's what makes this dynamic interesting of WrestleMania, because the people don't want to be, I was on night 1 and it was weaker than night 2. So I think that both nights are really stacked in a way that we could have 2 incredible nights for WrestleMania this year.
I mean, to be honest, the only filler match that I see right now is the El Grande Americano and Rey Mysterio. That's it. All the other matches should be fantastic. So,
and that match will be incredible as well, too.
So going along with the sports nonsense and whiskey brand, we always talk about taking time to spend with your loved ones, taking time to help others. I know you wanted to talk to something that was, always true to your heart, Ron. So tell the people about, what happened this last week.
Yeah. So for those of you that are new to me, I have this thing called kidney disease, and it resulted in me having to get a kidney transplant. And getting a kidney transplant, unfortunately, my kidney received some damage from an infection that I received shortly after getting the kidney. And the doctors were telling me that I needed to be retransplanted. And I still may need to get retransplanted. But this week, we got the news with my blood work that my numbers have made it so that I'm untransplantable because of the fact that my numbers are better than what it is than I need to be transplanted at. So for now, we're in a hold and see pattern, which is pretty awesome. That's awesome. I just wanted to put a word out there. There's people that are watching this program, and if you have interest in finding out more about how to find out more about kidney disease, if you're dealing with that, or if you're somebody that would be willing to take a look at being a donor, reach out to us on Sports Nonsense and Whiskey and really just put it out there to the group, and we'll get you in contact with the right people, because we're born with 2 kidneys, but we only need 1. And so if you're somebody that could come in and do something about it, be proactive and do it. We're all in this together, especially as wrestling fans here. So thank you guys for listening.
Oh, my man. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. So, all right, we're going to finish it up. I'm going to tell everybody, please help us out. Like, comment, subscribe, because Pinky freaking said so.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it.
We'll see you guys next week. Have a great WrestleMania, guys.